Hello guys, welcome back to my channel where today we are doing look number 4 this week using the Christmas Eve palette from Oden's. This is part of my week of series where I dedicate an entire week of uploads to just one palette. This week obviously I'm doing the Christmas Eve palette from Oden's. The first 3 looks are linked down below in the description box along with my Oden's playlist and my week of playlist where I have featured multiple different palettes. Oden's, Glamlight, Juvia's Place, lots of different palettes from lots of different brands featured in my week of series. So I hope you'll check that out if you're interested, and do stick around to see how I did this eyeshadow look while talking about Oden's Christmas palettes in general. It's a bit later in the morning than I usually film, and I'm expecting my little ones to wake up soon. Now, it's rather a dreary rainy day outside, so there's not a lot of sunlight shining through the windows, and I think that's what's buying me a little bit of time. I want to do a blue look today because as I look at the palette, I realistically think that I think I have used every shade in the palette except for these 4. So those are the 4 I'm going to use today. So let's zoom in and get going. I do need some lip oil or something on my lips. This is Paper Pansy from ColourPop. Did you guys buy anything in the Black Friday sales? At the time that I'm filming this, it's not Black Friday yet, but it's almost here. And I'm thinking, there's one thing I know I specifically want to buy, and then I'm trying to decide what to do with the rest of my Christmas cash, because we probably won't do gifts this year, aside from that little bit of money that I have. I'm not sure. I'm thinking I might stock up on ColourPop, but I don't really need any lip oils or creme gel liners right now. I'm looking at Oden's, I'm looking at Lethal, I'm looking at Gourmand Girls. There are a few palettes that I'm looking at, but I'm not sure. We'll see. Honestly, I'm actually okay. I'm not feeling the pull of anything in particular. Just perhaps one Oden's palette, because you know it's my favorite brand, but I don't want to buy something just because I like the brand. I do, however, think that that palette might replace one in my collection that I'm considering getting rid of. Okay, so with these 4 shadows, what do I want to do? Let's take the shade Nightfall with a medium and kind of dense blending brush. This is not super fluffy. I'm going to put Nightfall through my crease. I have to be careful with blues. I think I have cool blue undertones in my skin, and depending on what shade of blue I use, they can make me look really tired or very drawn. They can make me look older, and this is a good blue for me. But the navy blue matte that's in here is less good. So, hey, should I do a halo eye? Should I do a halo eye? It's a little late now. It's not too late now. Okay, let's do a halo eye. Let's change up the plan mid-stroke. I'm going to fill my crease with this Nightfall shade, and then I will deepen the inner and outer corners. And anyway, I was saying that navy matte is a tricky color for me, so you have to be careful with it. I don't think I've done a halo yet this week. I try to vary my technique and styles a little bit when I do a whole week of. So that's pretty. It's a little bit darker out here because I wasn't planning on doing a halo eye, but that's fine. It really is fine. Okay, let me deepen a bit now. Let's do the inner and outer corners. Ordinarily, I would have started with this, but I didn't because I wasn't thinking that far ahead. Here is the Christmas Eve shade. I do hope that you guys have been enjoying my week of Christmas Eve. This is such a beautiful palette. I'm glad that they brought them back this year. I think what happened was they probably had stock come back into their warehouse last year, but after the holiday season, and so they just decided we'll just wait until the next holiday season and re-release them with whatever stock we've got left. Honestly, if they had released them in January or February or March, people still would have bought them. They really would have, regardless of the fact that they were Christmas themed. These palettes are so loved, and there was so much FOMO, I guess, or people who actually did miss out. I'm pretty sure they would have sold out immediately anyway. But it makes sense that they would release them around the holidays. And I looked on their website, again, I'm filming this before we're even in December, but I looked on the website a day or 2 ago, and I saw that the final stock, I guess, of 2022 Christmas palettes, those were low in stock, and the 2023s are still not listed as low in stock. Those palettes were cute, but nothing special. And I think there were ridiculous expectations for the 2023 Christmas palettes because of how insanely popular last year's were. I don't know how they would have exceeded what people were wanting or expecting. They would have had to blow it out of the park on a whole different level, because these blew it out of the park to begin with. They would have been in the stratosphere, and that is hard to achieve. I feel a little bit bad for the creative team over at Oden's Eye, because again, what they released this year was good, but compared to last year's, it's not anything special. And I honestly think that those Christmas palettes from this year, if they were rebranded with or marketed with like springtime packaging, it would have worked beautifully. I don't feel Christmassy about those palettes. Okay, so that's looking nice. I hear creaking above me on the floor. I know that people are waking up. Let's keep moving. I'm trying to decide if I want to do a silver center or a blue center. I mean, they both look good, honestly. Silver would contrast more, blue would be more monochromatic. Let's swatch them. Really, really lightly. Ooh, they're so pretty. They're so pretty. I could do one on top of the other. If I lay down the silver and then pop the blue in the center, or lay down the blue and pop the silver in the center. Oh, they're both so beautiful. Let's do the silver. Usually I would use a brush for this. I don't typically apply Oden's eye shimmers. Actually, I never apply Oden's eye shimmers with my finger. I'm just doing that now because I had already swatched them. But let me grab a brush. The silver is called Silvery Dream. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, I think I know what I'll do with the blue now. I'm going to lay the silver all the way in that center space. And now I will dip into the blue, which is called Blue Ice. I sprayed Blue Ice a little bit, and I'm going to tap it right on the edge of the silver into the blue matte. So a little bit over here and a little bit on the other side. And then back into my matte brush, the small one that I used for the dark blue. I don't want the silver to go all the way to either corner. I want the matte to make sure that it holds its territory quite strongly. So back into the matte brush to soften that space a bit too. Okay, that's pretty. Now for the lower lash line, let's do what? I've used all four in that quad. Oh, I hear the little ones getting up. I'm going to take a very smaller and pinched blending brush, go back into Christmas Eve, and do the whole lower lash line. I'm considering doing a halo on the center of the lower lash line, but I actually think I'm going to pick up the shade Ice Crystal, which is a gray matte, and I'm going to pop this in my inner corner. It's not the brightest inner corner highlight. Maybe I'll bring in a white from somewhere else, but I just wanted to brighten that area because there was a little bit of fallout from the deep blue matte right here at the bridge of my nose, and I do not want that. If I place depth at the bridge of my nose, I want it to be very precisely located so that it doesn't, well, just go everywhere. I don't want it to go everywhere. So that's Ice Crystal, and I'm just sweeping it down a little bit. And I think that's the look. I'm gonna go off camera and do the other side. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go, all said and done. In my waterline, I used white, and then I put on some mascara, and I did do a wing, well, a wing everywhere actually, mainly in the outer corner, but just a tiny little inner wing or inner corner flick. And then on my lips, I'm wearing this lip liner from Italia Deluxe. It's in the shade 1039 Burgundy and the Showering Sunset shade from Burt's Bees Tinted Lip Oils. On my face, I'm wearing a little bit of blush from my Tarte palette and the blue highlighter from the ABH Aurora Glow Kit. And that's everything. I think the look is very pretty. I would love to hear your thoughts, of course. I wanted to give you a couple specific thoughts since I happen to be mentioning the new Oden's Eye Christmas palette. The Hey Reindeer palette is more blue and orange color story. I think it's cute. It reminds me a lot of the Cat's Breath palette that Oden's Eye released a few years back, which I have and love. It just feels like Cat's Breath built out a bit more, well, larger obviously, maybe a little bit more well-rounded or thought through, But I love the Cat's Breath palette, and I honestly don't think it needed to be built out. I think that it is quite great the way it is, honestly. And for that main reason, even though I like the Hey Reindeer palette in and of itself, it's too close to Cat's Breath. Same formula, same brand, and I love Cat's Breath. I use it, and there's really no reason for me to get the Hey Reindeer. And then the other one, Snow Dream, that one really tempted me for a bit until I analyzed why. I really like the lighter shimmers of that, and I like the green sagey tones. But it is, as far as the green sagey tones, quite similar to the Flora Story palette, which I have and am finding that I'm not using. It turns out that those tones don't really show up great on my skin. They tend to look dusty. So that right there is a reason for me not to get it. And then as far as the light shimmers and everything else, if I really analyze the palette, I can easily dupe it out around other, even Oden's Eye palettes in my collection, and the rest of the shades are neutral. If I just pull out the shadows themselves, apart from the cute packaging, apart from the theme, apart from the excitement, it's pretty neutral. And then it has the sagey greens, and it's just, I'm not using the sagey greens that I have from Oden's Eye, and I have lots of neutrals, and I have lots of beautiful pretty shimmers elsewhere. It's not unique. It's not special to what I own, and they're not colors that I think I would dip into a lot. I think that if I had those palettes in my hand, I would definitely feel a pang of regret that I had spent money on something which deep down I know is not going to get as much use as it ought to. Honestly, the 2022 Christmas palettes, they get a lot of use, and they are beautiful, and they are special and unique. And while I think that the 2023 palettes are good, they're not as standout, and I'm not planning on picking either of those up. So I would love to hear your thoughts on those palettes. I would love to hear your thoughts on the week of Christmas Eve. Thank you so much for being here. Do tell me which look you liked the best, 1 through 4. I had a lot of fun with all of them. One of them really surprised me, and if I were to just see that look out in the wild, I probably wouldn't think it was the Christmas Eve palette. But it was still really pretty and fun. I hope you have enjoyed this week of. Do remember to check my description box for my week of playlist. There are lots of other palettes in there, and my Oden's Eye playlist. I hope you guys have a great day, and you look forward to the other videos that I have planned for you in December. Bye!